Morning, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, June 26, 2024, and I am back at Tecolote Canyon, this time in the central portion, and I'm parked off of Mount Ashman Drive. So, I'm just gonna go poke around today. It's gonna be a little too hot up in the mountains for any really fun recreational hiking, so I'm going to stick a little closer to the coast this time. So, yep, haven't been to this part of Tecolote in a while, actually. It's been quite a while. I just want to see how it's faring and see how we're doing down here. This way heads towards Mount Acadia Boulevard. So I'm going to go do this as an out and back this way, and then I'll go ahead and double back and head north towards Balboa. So I get the full experience today. Yeah, nice morning out here. At least we finally got the marine layer. Yeah, we've been in a pretty hot spell the last 4 days. It's been quite hot. This time last week I was booking it towards Cuyamaca. So I did hike Cuyamaca Peak from Grade Valley, which is one of the longer, tougher approaches. This week, definitely not going as hard, and it's okay. Just a nice mellow day here in the coastal sage scrub and oak woodland habitats here in more coastal San Diego County. You're going to see a cottontail way up on the path. Kind of hard to see on camera because she's kind of far away. But there's a cottontail up ahead, kind of hopping his way along the path. So I'm just going to enjoy a quiet morning out here. No huge plans, no huge goals. Just enjoy the morning here in beautiful Tecolote Canyon. Hopefully I can find a spotlight subject, maybe later on, hopefully. Well, there's our little buddy right here. A little cottontail. Little buddy. Yeah. It's definitely a warm and muggy morning. The marine layer finally is overhead. It's been a while since we've seen the marine layer. Yep. One thing about this canyon, lots of this stuff growing here. Western poison oak. It's all very heavily growing in this canyon. These oaks seem to be doing pretty well. These coast live oaks here seem to be doing pretty well over in this stretch. I know in the northern stretch there are some areas where they're struggling pretty badly. I originally planned on parking at Mount Ariane, which is another side canyon, Mount Ariane Drive. I was going to try to park there, but couldn't find it from where I was driving on Mount Everest Boulevard. So I just parked at Mount Ashman, which means I don't have to climb like I normally would. I would normally be climbing up Mount Acadia Boulevard at the end of my hike, but today I don't have that big walk along pretty sketchy part of road, which is pretty scenic, but kind of sketchy actually. What variant of bladder pot are we looking at here? Is this Cleomela arborea variety angustata? These are pretty narrow seed capsules. I don't know. It might be a little narrower than that, but that's definitely a variant of Cleomela arborea. I'm trying to think if that was the regular arborea variant or the angustata variant with the narrow seed pods or seed chambers. I'll have to cross-reference that. See, this one right here, yeah, that might have been variety angustata, because this one here, this Cleomela arborea, seems to have the regular one, so that one might have been variety angustata, but these ones are definitely a little wider. So this is definitely Cleomela arborea variety arborea, and we're supposed to have 3 variants that I know of. Variety globosa with the most rounded, globular shaped fruits. The really narrow ones would be variant angustata, and the regular one with the intermediate fruits would be the typical arborea variant. So interesting. Okay. Ooh. Datura wrightii. Western Jimson weed. Oh yeah, look at that. These have some of the largest flowers of any California native plant. Almost as large as the Matiliha poppies. This is a nice specimen here. Very handsome. Yep, Datura wrightii. All right. Let's see what else awaits me on this journey today. I've seen some my last 2 pictures. Start of a beautiful stand of Palmer sagewort. This is a local, near regional endemic right here, Artemisia palmeri. This is the Palmer sagewort, and it's in full bloom right now too. An early summer bloomer. And it's related to our California sagebrush, Artemisia californica. But this is more of an herbaceous perennial. Colony forming too. I'm pretty sure there's a very extensive root system down here. Yeah, what a very handsome plant. You see quite a bit of this in Tecolote Canyon. Flowing in here, which is always nice to see. We got 2 options. I'm gonna take this road here, this trail. Maybe come back on that one. Okay, all right. Let's see. Sometimes the trail splits off, meets back together. Yeah, it's more of that Palmer sagewort growing here. So one thing about this canyon, it is very pretty. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. course, lemonade berry in full fruit. Those sticky, relatively flattened cross-section drupes. Pretty typical of Rhus integrifolia. There's Mount Ariani right there. That was where I intended to go, right there. I think that's Mount Ariani if I remember correctly. That was where I intended to go. I think this is Mount Ariani Drive. I'll just walk up this. I don't think I've walked all the way up to the cul-de-sac before. This is where I was going to intend on parking up here. Pretty sure this is it. There's a cul-de-sac right there. I think that's Mount Ariani. They have that development right in the middle of that little finger canyon. Alright, well, let's see what else I find today. Let's talk about Palmer. Well, first of all, let's talk about Palmer sagewort earlier on. Here's its woodier relative, California sagebrush, Artemisia californica. So yeah, I've seen at least 4 different species of Artemisia here in San Diego County. Artemisia palmeri, Palmer sagewort, Artemisia californica, California sagebrush, Artemisia tridentata, subspecies tridentata, Great Basin sagebrush, and Artemisia dracunculus, the dragon sagewort. Alright. Let's see. I always thought that canyon wall there, just such an impressive little backdrop for a beautiful canyon here. Always was impressed by that. That's one thing I love about Tuckaloote is the side of the canyon. Such a huge, just a nice big wall of mostly lemonade berry dropping down from up there, which is Cowley Way. Mount Acadia is just up that way a little ways. Alright, well, we'll see what else pops up. There's this little mound I always pass every time I come to this part of the canyon. I just wonder how this little mound formed. I've always been interested by it. Now we got all this coastal sage scrub clinging to it. Ocean locoweed, black sage, California sagebrush. Now even lemonade berry, well, growing at the base of it. Always wondered what caused this little formation here. Always been fascinated by it. It's like a little miniature butte right in the middle of the canyon, lower canyon. That looks so cool. I just wonder what made this. I always see it every time I come to this side, and always awestruck by it. Pretty interesting. Tuckaloote Canyon is a very interesting place. Very interesting place. Yeah, one of the little side canyons I was going to go try to explore that side canyon there, but now it's been walled off as no access. So fortunately, I was going to try to go up, follow a small trail that went up that side of the canyon. I was going to explore over there and see there's a one side where there's a bunch of scrub oak growing. But if they cordoned it off, I'm going to just leave it alone. Ooh, Coast Cholla popping back in. Now you know we're in coastal sage scrub when you see that in the mix. Of course, this is the sunnier, drier side of the canyon. Of course, up there is where the larger vegetation's growing. Yeah, there's a lot of Palmer sagewort down here. There's a lot of it growing. A lot of Palmer sagewort. Of course, California sagebrush. Artemisia californica, of course. And its relative, Artemisia palmeri. I've got some nice specimens here in this canyon. Lots of beautiful Palmer sagewort. And of course, are these okay, these are just barely in bud. There's laurel sumac here. These ones haven't opened up yet. There's a lot of laurel sumac here in the county is already blooming. Here it's just basically budding in this area. There's that western poison oak. You don't want to mess with that. Hey, this little lemonade berry tree, little miniature, single trunk one too. Handsome little guy. Yeah, look at it. It's even more Palmer sagewort than I remember the last time. Maybe the plant is just spreading out more. Hey, it's a native, so I say you go for it. Ooh, a little close to the trail there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Getting really close to Mount Acadia. Oh, yeah, I remember these old, mature coast live oaks growing here. Yeah, this is a pretty decent sized one, actually. Old spreading noble oaks. Of course, we've got a lot of this non-native garden nasturtium, sometimes pronounced garden nasturtium. Tropaeolum maius. Yeah, it kind of spreads in these coastal canyons a lot. Yep, this is near where I did the spotlight on Arroyo Willow back in 2022. Yep, handsome Arroyo Willows right here. Yeah, I can hear the traffic on Mount Acadia just up ahead. There's an old elderberry in here. All laying sprawled out on the, basically growing horizontally between these oaks here, or behind these oaks. We're just about at Mount Acadia. Over here's where Mount Acadia Boulevard is. What I used to do is park up at East Claremont Athletic Area, East Claremont Park, and walk down Mount Acadia, come in here, and then figure, you know what, kind of stay away from the sketchy road. It's really not really a sidewalk there. So I kind of started leaving it alone. Here's a non-native plant. It's called petty spurge, Euphorbia peplis. I always see, especially under these oaks, a lot of times that's a garden plant, a garden weed that pops up. It's a small, pretty fragile annual plant. Very common in greenhouses and watered yards and gardens. Alright, so now it's time to start heading towards Balboa. Start heading up towards Balboa Avenue right now for my second out and back. Yeah, this garden nasturtium really gets established in these canyons like crazy. Okay, here's our beautiful Quercus agrifolia, Reddy agrifolia. A beautiful tree. I thought this was another elder, but this is actually part of a much larger plant. I thought this was just a single trunk specimen here, but no. It grows along the ground here. It's part of that massive trunk system right there. It's crazy. It's crazy how those things grow. There's a huge coyote brush. Look at that. Dang. That's a huge coyote brush. Is this a coyote brush or is this a broombaccharis? Yeah, this looks like a coyote brush right here. That's a tall one. Yeah, the baccharis plants get pretty tall here. Alright. Well, let's see what else awaits me on this interesting journey. We've got some black sage still blooming down here. Most of the other black sages are pretty much finished up for the summer. Very beautiful. Probably because there's a little more access to moisture down in this lower portion of the canyon. You can hear a red-shouldered hawk. Yeah, see the sages on the drier side of the canyon already. They've already gone to seed already. That marine layer is already breaking up. Yeah, it's ocean loco weed right here. It's all in seed. Yep. If you ever step on one of these when they're still green and not fully dried up, they will surprise you by making a popping sound because they're very inflated. Yeah, Astragalus trichopodes varieloncus, ocean loco weed. Imagine living in those apartments and hearing that outside your window. That'd be so awesome to hear that. Hear wildlife right outside your window. Especially if you're lucky enough to have your window facing the canyon. That's got to be just some incredible luck to experience that. Just can't imagine how awesome that would be. There's a lot of ocean loco weed on that side of the hill too. Most of that light brown stuff is ocean loco weed and seed. Same seed pods. Very interesting. There's a lot of it growing on that hillside with the black sage and stuff like that. Yeah, here's this little butte right here. This thing is so cool. Okay, go through this little tunnel. One side's a lemonade berry, the other side is a Brazilian pepper tree. And there's this little tunnel right here. You have a thicket of Scinis terebinthifolia. Now on this side, a very prostrate lemonade berry with its trunks all growing along the ground, basically. All right, shall be more up ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and go through here, take this trail, take this little cutoff here, and join the wide double track on this side. Let's see. Head down there momentarily. Just want to kind of look around on this little rise here and see what's popping over here. What's this say? Okay, so I'm not supposed to go down that. Okay, I'm just gonna go back over there. Just wanted to see what was over here. Okay, all right. I'll just go join the main trail system down here. Walk on the woodsy side of the canyon. Okay, well, this is actually not a trail either. Maybe it's down here. Let's see. Take a look down here and see. I think it's nice to just explore and see what's what. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna lead to... Ooh, a little erosion gully down here. Very interesting looking. Wow. Look at this. A little gully washer here. A little gully wash. Wow, that's cool. That's cool looking. I don't think this is part of the trail either, so I'm just going to go back. Really cool looking though. Really cool just to explore and look at different things and see what's what. Alright. Okay, a lot of little details in these canyons that are fascinating and interesting to explore. Alright, so I'm going to go back up to where I came. And back on the double track that cuts through that side. Because it'll eventually be able to see where the woods are. I'll just go back this way. back to the main trail. All right. All right, so I'm at another junction here. There's one to Mount Ariane over there, but I'm going to be going to Balboa. I'm going to stay on this side. I came from that side earlier. I was on the trail that went along that way to Mount Ashman, which is the next one of the next side canyons over, with a little trailhead in it. All right. Let's see. There's that beautiful canyon wall again. I always get tripped up over that every time I come here. Just love looking at that steep wall. It's got some bush tit action. These little birds flitting about between lemonade berries and toyons. All right. See you up the way. Oh, kind of back at the little creek crossing. Yeah, I must have gone up this way. This is the way I went before, so I've kind of made a small loop back to this little spot. I remember this exact little crossing here with this little concrete slab and that there. Pretty cool. Alright, so this is where the trails meet up again. They do split off and reconvene. Ooh. Ooh, I think that's a little bush tit. Look at that little guy. Little birdie. Yeah. Those things are so tiny. What a handsome little bird. Made a little cheep sound too. That is so cool. Those things are just the coolest. Yeah, birds are just such a joy to watch. Birds are so fun to watch. All right. All right. Let's see. Up, and away. Right past that bladder pod. Yeah, that's the regular variant right there. Yeah, the first one I saw, pretty sure looks like it's variety Angustata. Is this the one? No, this one looks like the regular one. This looks like a regular variety. Yeah, these are the regular variants. This one here, this looks like variety Angustata. This one's a little narrower. Yeah, this is the one I was looking at earlier. That looks like variety Angustata. Pods are definitely narrower than the regular ones. Here's some orange monkey flower just above us here too. Here we are in the woods. Looks like we had a little reroute over here. Peaceful morning in the woods. That's what it's all about. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Nothing like the woods. It's a nice Coast Cholla thicket right behind this Coast Live Oak here. Okay. Well, I'll keep you updated on how this day is going, but suffice it to say, it's going very nicely. Very nicely. Alright, we're just about at the intersection of the trail coming down from Mount Ashman. Just about at the intersection right now. So this will be where I go up when I'm done. Very short distance. Cul-de-sac's just right over there. So I'm still heading relatively northbound towards Balboa. Oh yeah. Yeah. Lots of happy bird activity. Making things very joyful. Where are those little bush tit birds? There's a bunch of them. Look at this. These are the bush tits. The one I was looking at earlier was kind of a little narrower, had a narrower profile. These are the Saltroparus minimus birds right here. They're such jovial little birds, all full of energy. They're just flying all across. Oh, we still got some blooms here on the Bahiopsis laciniata, San Diego bush sunflower. Still got some flower heads on it. Not for much longer. They're kind of going out of bloom now. Yeah. It's so mellow here. Yeah, here we go. Those are bush tits right there. So the one I was looking at earlier was something else. Very similar sized, but narrower profile, slightly longer bill. Those ones are definitely the Saltroparus minimus, the ones that you saw flitting around in the bushes. Those are definitely bush tits. The one I saw earlier, I'll have to double check that one. Has slightly narrower profile, not as stocky. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Yep. Good old Tecolote Canyon. It's never a dull moment in these canyons. Even on the quietest days, it's never a dull moment in my opinion. It's just a good feeling all around to just be out here exploring, checking out the animals and the plants. Of course, admiring the poison oak from a distance, naturally, because it is heavy in this canyon. All right. Yeah, there's more of that Bahiopsis. Still blooming, actually. We're definitely past the peak, but definitely still quite noticeable. Higher up on the hillsides where it's drier, they would definitely be well past all that, but where there's a little more access to moisture in these canyons, they'll stick it out for a while more. All right, let's see what else pops up these canyon walls, canyon bottom, brushy ravines. All right. Time to cross this small bridge. Oh, here's an old blue elder. Look at that. It's a pretty tall one too. Definitely, this one's been around for a long time. It's got a huge trunk in there too. This thing's a pretty decent size. For now, I'm gonna call it Sambucus caerulea. That's what is listed on, I think iNaturalist is listed as Sambucus caerulea now. And I think CalFlora listed as Sambucus mexicana. Ooh, red-shouldered hawk. Wow. I caught a glimpse of it over on the other side of the canyon wall, but it kind of flew kind of low behind the tree line, so I'm going to try to get a good image of it, but couldn't. Tecolodi's got some great birding too, I'll tell you that. Sheesh. Love it. Alright. Definitely have some options. Yeah, that hawk's been at it all morning. I love it. Love hearing that stuff. Just love hearing the sounds of wildlife. Just love the sound. Just wish I could see it. Yeah, I remember this old Coast live oak from last time. Let's go up and take a close look at it. I remember this old tree from a couple of years ago. Yeah, there was a really huge old Coast live oak here years ago that has since died off, unfortunately. But we still got this guy here. Yep, here's a huge old Coast live oak right here. Beautiful Quercus agrifolia variety agrifolia. Yeah, I remember this guy. This is a big one. This is a big tree right here. Huge old trunks. But these trunks here are enough to be medium-sized Coast live oaks. These branches, actually. But yeah, a lot of these old oaks are going away, unfortunately. This one here still seems to be going pretty strongly. It's lost a nice chunk of its biomass, but it still has a lot of tissue, thankfully, remaining. And you can still find quite a few of these old growth coast live oaks if you know where to look. Yeah, that's just a magnificent old specimen. Remember this from the last time I was in the area. Love seeing these. Love seeing them. Absolutely love it. Look at this handsome young laurel sumac right here. What a beauty. Flower buds and everything. Yeah, that's a magnificent old coast live oak. But there was one that was even larger than this. Quite a ways down that way, between Mount Ashman and Mount Acadia, that I remember I got to see a couple times back in the mid-2010s, like around 2013, 2015, that unfortunately has perished since then. So I was lucky enough to experience that. It was a huge oak, and it was pretty tall too. These trees are generally not super tall trees, but that one had some height to it, and it had at least 3 massive trunks meeting near the base. It was just a sight to behold. It was a massive tree. It was as large as some of the, not all, but some of the canyon live oaks up at Palomar. It was pretty close to the size of some of them. Not the largest ones, but canyon live oaks by nature can get much more massive. Yeah. Ooh, yes. Marsh evening primrose. Oh yeah. This is another highlight of early summer hiking here. Temperatures are more moderate here near the coast, and you get these awesome plants. I love these. Oenothera alata subspecies Hirsutissima in the Oenograceae family, evening primrose family. And here's a third species of Artemisia. And this is Artemisia douglasiana, Douglas mugwort. So this is another species of Artemisia growing here. Ooh, we got narrow-leaf milkweed here too. Not blooming yet, but it's getting buds on it. This is right here. This is Asclepias fascicularis, narrow-leaf milkweed. Every now and then I'm lucky enough to come across those. All right, so now we are getting close to Balboa. What I'm going to do is make, I think, if I remember correctly, 2 short out and backs. One of them goes up this way, a little further to the east along Balboa, and this one goes over towards the Garfield Plaza, which is a small shopping center on the corner of Claremont Drive. Oh no, it's not over here. It's a little further up. It goes up to the Garfield Plaza, which is a small shopping center on the corner of Claremont Drive and Balboa Avenue. There should be a split coming up pretty soon. Oh, and Isocoma's starting to bloom already. Oh, wait a minute. No, this is still Golden Yarrow. Golden Yarrow is still blooming over here. Cool. So, okay, this split is going to take you towards a little closer to Claremont Drive along Balboa. It's going to take you to the Garfield Plaza. This will take you to sort of a dead end, if I remember correctly, near a drainage system. So I'm going to go explore both of them. I'm going to go up this way, and I'll see you on the next clip for what we find next. All right, so I'm just about at Balboa. Here's the canyon drainage system right over here. Yeah, the little culvert right here, the drainage culvert that goes underneath Balboa. Okay, and then we also have this trail here that should lead up towards Balboa. Let's see how far I can go up this. I think this will lead right to the street. A little further east. So if you were trying to walk the side streets, which I don't think it's too safe to walk. I remember one time when I was a kid. I walked around Claremont. I was about 12 years old. And I walked around Claremont just to get some exercise and fresh air. And I remember walking along Balboa, and it was sketchy as heck. And it kind of dead ends here, unless you want to bushwhack through the gulch. Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to bushwhack through Lemonade Berry and Broombaccharis, you might be able to get up there. But, oh, the breeze feels good. Oh, that feels nice. Very sticky, very balmy. Typical of summer mornings when the marine layer's here. One thing is it'll keep the temperatures down during the daytime. But yeah, if you want to bushwhack through that, of course you run the risk of probably bushwhacking through Poison Oak too, I would assume. I'm not going to go over there and find out, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, if you want to get to Balboa without having to bushwhack, you're going to want to go back to that fork and bear left. So what we're going to do is, since we're coming from this direction, we're going to bear hard right, and we're going to go over towards the Garfield Plaza Shopping Center, and that'll be the turnaround for this hike. There's a lot of western vervain growing along here too, some Verbena lasiostachys variety lasiostachys. All right, well, I'll see you at the fork. All right, so we're at the trail split. There we are, tired of Mount Acadia, southbound. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over this wooden bridge, right to this little wood of Coast Live Oak here. Man, just beautiful trees. SDBMA, or MBA, San Diego Mountain Biking Association. We have them to thank for this. Alright, so now we're going to start doing a little bit of an ascent as we start climbing towards Garfield Plaza. So we're going to start going uphill over this way. Here we go. Back out in the sage scrub for a little while, then it's going to get pretty woodsy again as we start making our way towards the shopping center. Love the sound of that bird. Always have, always will. Ooh, some Conchalawa. Zeltnera venusta. Been seeing that periodically this spring and early summer. Last time I saw it was just last week at Cuyamaca Rancho. Yes, and we're getting a little woodsy over here. So luscious here. I love these canyons. These oaks are pretty healthy and beautiful and luscious too. Okay. Well, see you further up the way. It's not going to be that much longer. Another cottontail. Look at that little guy. I've seen a bunch of them today. Wow, how close I can get. Wow, look at that. All right, I'm almost at the Garfield Plaza. Just right over here where that fence is. Oh, another one. Boy, I've been seeing a bunch of them today. All right. All right. Just cut through here. Walk down Balboa, past, this is Garfield Plaza here. And you just walk down that way to the light, cross at the intersection of Claremont Drive, but then head down Balboa that way. I think there's a Canyon View Apartments over there, I believe. There we are. It's the Garfield Plaza right here. I'm gonna start working my way down, looking at this Shamel ash right here, Fraxinus uddi. And it looks like there's a glossy privet underneath it, which is actually a related species. Yeah, it looks like Ligustrum lucidum right there, which is actually in the same family as the ash. It's in the olive family, Oleaceae, and they're related, both of them. Ashes get winged seeds called samars for fruit, that just have winged seeds, and then privets usually have small berry-like drupes that are often purple in color. All right. Yeah. Yeah, more Shamel ash growing here. There's a really tall blue elder too. This thing is tall. This is a pretty nice size one. Well into the tree size category. That's a nice one. Can't tell how large the trunks are because they're covered in poison oak vines. Yeah, here's another Shamel ash. It's very nice to get back in this canyon. And as you're going downhill here, ooh, narrowleaf bedstraw. These are the seeds, well, the fruits. These are the fruits of narrowleaf bedstraw. Yeah, one thing you'll see is you get to see the outcropping of the marine sedimentary soil as you about roughly around the midway point on the split. Actually, he's a little closer up this way. We're coming up to it right now. Get to see a good example of it as we head down here. First, I'm going to admire this beautiful lemonade berry thicket over here. Very nice one. Very beautiful. And we go right into this Coast Live Oak right here. Basically, this one tree makes its own ecosystem. And yeah, you can see all these lemonade berry trunks, or lemonade sumac is another name for this plant, Roots integrifolia. You can see the marine sedimentary soil easily crumbles, especially with the roots of these plants breaking through them. But yeah, you can see all these lemonade berry thickets. Down here is very light starved, so you don't see a lot of live tissue, but just above you can see where all the plant's green leaves are. But yeah, this is that marine sedimentary soil. I don't know if this area is called Linda Vista Formation. I'm not sure. I gotta probably look that up. But this is part of that marine terracing, which gives rise to the mesas that we have here in San Diego. That's why we have these flat top mesas cut through by a bunch of erosion canyons. A lot of these are from erosion. We have a lot of these canyons in between the mesa tops. What makes the geography here actually very interesting, and in my opinion underrated, because it's so interesting. But yeah, I love when we get these little steep little drop-offs, these little sedimentary drop-offs. They're just so interesting. And you get a lot of that here in Tecolote too. A lot of little spots like that here, and it just makes it so fascinating. Yep. Yeah, pretty soon I'm gonna have to check back over at West Shepherd Canyon, because that was the area where I saw my first population of grass leaf or western goldenrod, Eothamia occidentalis. I gotta see if they're gonna be blooming soon. That's the first time I've ever seen western goldenrod. It used to be in the genus Solidago, like the typical goldenrods, like our Solidago velutina californica, which is our main species. But yeah, West Shepherd Canyon has a population over there as well. I'm gonna have to check that out because they usually bloom in summer and early fall. So I'm gonna have to go back there and see if I can catch them in bloom so I can get a spotlight video on those. Ooh, hello. It's you, little buddy. Western fence lizard. Yeah, when I was hiking at Cuyamaca last week, it was very devoid of a lot of herp action. Except, I did see a juvenile western skink, but obviously it would have been way gone before I could have gotten footage of it. So basically it went from 0 to 100, and then back to pretty much 0. There was not much lizard activity when I was in Cuyamaca. I mean, I heard some stuff scuttling off in the bushes. But yeah, that was crazy. I was expecting to see tons and tons of lizards. Alright, back over through the bridge. Oh, a small fuchsia flower gooseberry. Right there. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, they're starting to shed their leaves because of the summer dry season. Yeah, a couple of fuchsia flower gooseberries here. Alright, catch you on the next clip. Alright, just about to bank right to get back on the main trail. Start heading toward Mount Ashman Avenue. It sounds like that hawk is on the prowl. Oh, I think I hear multiple birds. Yeah, I think there are multiple birds. Maybe there's a territory dispute. Love to see what's going on up there. It'd be really cool to see what's going on. See the action. I'm just curious what the drama is. Sounds like there's a multiple. Sound like there are multiple hawks. Wish I could see it. Boy, I'd love to be able to hear that outside my window. Oh, there's another little buddy. Another little western fence lizard. There he goes, scuttling into the brush. All right. We'll see if we got any more surprises up ahead for the end of this trip. Oh, I think that's a cicada bug. This is what usually makes the buzzing sound. I gotta find out what species that is. It's mostly grayish, clear, lacy wings, a couple little red spots on his back. I think that's the one that makes the bzzz sound when the sun's out and it's getting warm. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one before. You hear them, the evidence of them. I think that's the bug. Gotta figure out what species of cicada or cicada-related insect that is. You know, my mind's always curious about what I'm seeing, and I really don't have a huge background in entomology, studying insects. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely look that one up. Just enjoying this peaceful walk back. There's still a lot of monkey flower. That orange, all that orange over there, I think it's all monkey flower blooming on that side of the canyon. There's a lot of monkey flower still blooming out here. These canyons are just so interesting. The sounds of civilization are always close at hand. Like I can hear a leaf blower motor up on the mesa, and yet I'm still hearing that red-shouldered hawk, hearing all these tons of different species of birds. It's just so interesting, the juxtaposition of this beautiful canyon bottom. It definitely has that wild aspect. Here we go. Time for some flitting about by the birds. Get to enjoy seeing this. Something I always enjoy seeing. Just watching birds flit around in the bushes. It's fun. They just give off such a jovial vibe. That's one thing about me hiking. Is I like the vibe. Like the vibes. Just up there. A residential community. Just up there. Another residential community, all part of Claremont. Neighborhood of Claremont in San Diego. I'm surprised I didn't really come to Tecolote as a kid. spent very little time in Tecolote Canyon. A little bit, maybe a little bit here and there, just a couple times. Not really doing much walking in it either. When I was a kid, San Clemente Canyon was my hangout spot. I got a lot of fond memories of that. Boy, I think I missed out by not visiting Tecolote. Tecolote is amazing. It really is. This is an amazing canyon. Actually, this is one of my favorites in the area. Ooh, we got skunk brush here too. Poison oaks look alike. Well, we got some Rhus aromatica over here too. Those are pretty large leaflets for Rhus aromatica. Sure is what it looks like. I do occasionally find it here in the lowlands. Usually I find it more in the mountains, but now what we have in here beyond is definitely western poison oak. We also got the tail end of the bloom on chaparral bush mallow. Still got a few flowers left on them. This is Malacophthamnus fasciculatus, variety fasciculatus. Still got a few blooms left on it. Got a few small bush mallows around here. Yeah, all in here is all poison oak though. That's definitely not skunk brush, but that little thing sticking out over the trail looks like Rhus aromatica. But yeah, here's another bush mallow here. Those little hibiscus-shaped flowers. That's not a coincidence. It is a relative of hibiscus. Okay. Wow. Pretty neat. I do occasionally find skunk brush, the Rhus aromatica, here on these canyon bottoms occasionally. I've seen a patch of it in San Clemente Canyon near the junction of the main San Clemente Trail and the Cobb Trail, east of the Genesee entrance, Genesee Avenue entrance. Just such peaceful vibes here in this canyon. One of the reasons why I like coming here so much. Tecolote is actually really high up. Probably one of my favorite of these canyons. Probably maybe the favorite now. There's a lot to it. It's a pretty big canyon system compared to, well, San Clemente's pretty big too. Some of these canyons actually are quite large. San Clemente's pretty large, basically from Interstate 5 to even past the 805. But Tecolote's got a pretty extensive canyon system too. That's why I find it so fascinating here. Well, just about to finish up this hike. I'm about ready to bear left to go up towards Mount Ashman, which is barely a few steps up the hill from here. This will be my exodus for this video. But on the way up there, some alkali heliotrope. Heliotropium curasavicum variety oculatum. Blooming. Looking nice. Alkali heliotrope. Alright, well, this is basically going to do it. I'm just right up here. Across from that house is where I'm parked. So, well, thanks for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed coming along with me on another trip here in beautiful Tecolote Canyon. Tecolote Canyon Central. See you on the next video, and thanks for watching.